Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by asking a question. I have just seen this photo in social media. In Facebook, someone saying that Kibera there is some fire in Kibera. Anyone from there, please give us an update in the comment section so that we know what's going on there. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the kitchen is becoming very hot. And one President William Ruto, who is a man that receives intelligence from about everything happening in every corner of this country, is now becoming under pressure to explain what exactly is the end game of the government by their hard stand on Raila Odinga's Azimio. I'll try to tell you that in my next video. But on this one, William Ruto is uncomfortable with what exactly is happening in terms of the Nairobi operation. Nation this evening is reporting that there are a series of meetings that have been going on over this weekend, that President Ruto is putting the security teams to task to explain, or rather to re-audit the Nairobi operation. And there are a lot of questions that are coming after the 3 mass actions actually were done by Azimio la Umoja. And Ruto, away from the open talk in the rallies and what the other leaders and the bloggers are saying, the bloggers who are members of parliament are saying, there is reality as to what is going on. And the reality is that there are many things that questions are being asked to the President of the Republic of Kenya. And some of the contentious issues has been, and the President is now bringing this to discussion, that what is the role of the police? The point of the contention here is, should Nairobi operation be about escorting, because that's what the law says, is it about escorting protesters or waiting them in the middle of the road and disperse them? And the nation is saying that Ruto is allegedly unhappy with the manner in which the Nairobi operation has been done for the last 3 days, for the last 3 circles of that operation. And the question is on the brutality and the journalists and the members of public and the loss of property, which is also quite pressure coming on that end. And that is a question that we've been talking about, whether it is about escorting protesters or waiting them by the roadside then dispersing them. And according to what has been released today, is that they've made a move. And I want to read it for you. I think I have that screenshot with me. Yes. That the security officers, commanders have been asked not to share details of those who are killed or those who die or injured, whether the public or the police, exclusively, rather share those details to the media, but they should be confidential messages that should be sent in some confidential format to the higher ranks. This is what Nation NTV is reporting. Good afternoon, commanders. Allegedly, this is information that order that came. I hope this communication finds you well. However, it is advisable for you not to mention officers' names. Mention officers' names after a serious encounter with not only raucous crowds, but also criminals. Let it be used against us. Don't use open files, and let's have restricted access to confidential information via the email. I think that was they wanted to say via email, but they wrote it via email. Now, this is a move that has come because probably they're saying don't share the names of officers. Not to mention officers' names after serious encounter with not only other crowds or something. And also names of details of everything, not those who are killed, those who are injured, and anything, should not be shared recklessly to the public. Okay, I have a quick agenda on this. After that, incident, yeah, pipeline, Kenyans, I think the opposition wing profiled some police officers. They profiled some security officers there, and maybe it did not go well with the ranks and file, because I know that there is call for justice, but I'm also a bit not uncomfortable with it of profiling, especially the profiling. We profile those who are dead and those who are alive and everyone. The profile is mostly on ethnic, political affiliation, and I don't appreciate it. But I think they are also reading into that script, because when you profile, you expose, and on that, it also poses a risk, some risk to the lives of some of those officers. So that's what will be it, because after pipeline, I think the police officer, these guys really received exposed information and details about it. So government could be seeing it, that maybe that kind of leakage is coming from people, or rather the officers within the ranks and file. But that will not be very easy to stop, because I understand that even within the police, there are those who support and those who don't support. This points out this move to conceal, rather, this secrecy, this advanced secrecy, confidentiality, has a bearing into what the next Nairobi action is going to be. What exactly is going to look like. But there is a clear message that I want you to see from it. That one message that I want you to see first, kindly make sure you subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Oh, I still have problem with these eyes. I have to go for those glasses. So, clearly, there is one message that that you can see. Ruto is clearly saying Nairobi operation was hijacked by politicians to drive a political narrative without an intention, or rather an intent, to end it. I can tell you for sure. He's seeing, we analyzed, and I saw that there was a bit of reports that those who gave orders could be outside, not even the commander-in-chief. And what would this mean here is, William Ruto is clearly saying that someone is clearly using that Nairobi operation to run political narratives without a clear intention that it's going to end it. I agree that what so far has been done the last three circles of the anti-government protest do not point out to a possibility or a plan even to end it. Ceasefire. In fact, it's been charging the population more. If when the information came that Raila's car was 7 plus attempt, you know what happened? For people who hear that information, what do they take? They take Raila's life is at risk. And over the weekend, we know that the social media corridors was full with allegations of, do these people want to do away with Raila's life? And that has been going on. You look at the kind of rhetoric in the political scene, the verbal attacks from both camps, and the threats you see. And William Ruto is sitting saying, look here, that this Nairobi operation, if I leave it in the hands of my juniors or the people that are entrusted with it, it may not be it. Probably this points out to the discussion we're speaking about Kindiki. But then, this is... I want to tell you why Ruto is under pressure. Now, this is source of Ruto's pressure. Why, even if there is a bit of that denial, but you can't deny forever. You can't deny forever. The combativeness, or rather the kind of brutality that has been seen, is attracting international community, attention of the international community, and it has reached the threshold where the other African countries, or even our international community, are then looking at it's actually creating the fear that it has reached a point where it needs probe. And remember, when the security officers are in the line and they are being blamed, then for them they are the voice of the government. I can tell you, brutality, the police brutality is more louder in, and watch BBC and CNN. So you realize that message is more louder than even goods being looted. The looting and destruction of property is there, but the police brutality is more louder because it touches on humanity, on human life. So Ruto might have realized that whatever is happening is painting government in a bad light, even at the international scene. Remember, today he did not go to Kakamega. He was called up in meeting in State House today, Monday, on Saturday, to try to bring this to conclusion, because he's just come from Belgium and Germany, and has realized that there is a lot of attention that is people are paying to what's happening in the country. Even the diaspora, they want to invest here. But with what is happening, I think Ruto is realizing that no one wants to put his money here. So one of the reasons to try to retract is to compress what the information that is coming out. Now, there's one thing. The reports on deaths and injuries and even death of a police is making the state look a bit insensitive to the plight of Kenyans. This is it. This deaths and injuries is what is making people even to fear about going to school. It's what's creating that aspect of that fear. Even those who want to come to Kenya, those who want to invest here, when they look at some of those scenes, they're very depressing, and people will feel like, okay, this is not it. Lastly, there is a pressure from the businesses community. And it's not about Sereb. I've seen Central Economic something regional block. I don't think it's that. The same people, Ruto is actually feeling pressure from the hustler. Let's say the thing as it is. When Raila says we're going for mass action, or we're going for protest, you can stop people from going to town. You can stop protesters from going to town. But you'll equally realize that even some Kenyans are avoiding town because of the fear of unknown. And if they go to town, then, Nairobi's central business districts businesses goes up till in the night. It's a 24/7 economy. But with the kind of political instability, you realize that by 3, everyone is leaving town. So these hawkers that normally sell in the evening, they want to collect, they can't. At this time, transport industry is also feeling the heat because people are not moving to town. So there is the real heat of the economy. The economy is actually feeling the heat of it. That's it. I normally insist, and I insisted, that I don't think Raila's intention is ever going to go to State House. I still insist. That is my personal position. That I don't think Raila's intention, even not going to State House, is failed. No. What so far that the businesses are shut is already causing that pressure. I want to finish this analysis by saying, I strongly believe that some protests, there is a difference between protesters and looters. And not all looters are protesters. And not all protesters are looters. We should just get that distinction. If someone is found in another person's shop or another person's business, that person ceases to be a protester, that person becomes a criminal. And on that, should not be called on as Mio or Kenya Kwanza. A criminal is a criminal. They're just criminal elements that are using the opportunity, the mass action opportunity to protest, to do the heinous acts, so that because they know there is a breeding site, they will always have a complaint. And I can tell you, those who've been asking media that media should give us details of why is media not showing these incidents of property destruction. There is a video I saw, I think Jamhuri somewhere. The media is in Raila Odinga's convoy during the protest. Tell me, So are journalists supposed to follow criminals? People who have, like Raila was not on Thursday. Raila was in this side of Embakasi, but then there were criminal elements in that were captured in some video on phone using phone in Jamhuri. Look at that. Do you want to tell me that those people were protesters? No, those people were just criminals, just criminal gang that has realized that the police around this place have all been sent to counter the protests, and so they're just taking advantage of the lawlessness. I want to give you a good example. According to the law, the protests are supposed to end at 6 p.m. On Thursday, Raila Odinga's convoy was attacked in Pipeline, and it took a U-turn and went back to Karen. That was around 3:30 p.m. Then around 6 in the evening, Bicenta here on your way to Jacaranda, a group of youth went there and robbed women, shops. So that was past 6, I think somewhere around 1 p.m. I was just following up on that. Do you want to tell me that those are demonstrators? No. Those probably are people who, yes, maybe they went for demonstration, and after it, when they were going home, they decided now they become criminals. Or even still, in demonstration, even become very tired after those running battles. It's just people that just organize themselves. They've known here, kuna policy, keeping vigilance. They take advantage and rob other people's businesses. On this one, I support government. If you find a criminal, mtu ambaye anavunja duka ya mtu, that's a criminal. That's not a protester. And it should not be said, and the politicians should not woodwink us here. In fact, those who are making this destruction of property during mandamanos to thrive are those who are clearly linking these people to the political discourse. Let's not give these people a breathing side by calling these goons as protesters. You're giving them a very good name. The protester is not a bad part. Protester is just someone exercising his right. A goon vandalizing someone's shop is not exercising his right. There is no right to someone's property. So we should differentiate and say, if you're found breaking someone's shop, Buddha, atakipigwa risasi, it's another story. That's it. And that was my bold analysis.